There. Hi. So, I don't know if you can tell from the lighting, but I just got some exercise and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling motivated, and that is the topic of this video, motivation. And I like to look at this from a biopsychosocial perspective, because in order to understand the human condition, we need to understand it from the perspective of the way that we think, psychological, the way that the chemicals in our brain are being released, the neurotransmission, the hormonal relationship between the neurotransmission, and then and behavior, ultimately. So we have that cognitive, psychological aspect, the biological, and then, to me, the most beautiful, the most meaningful, the social aspect. So, how do we become more motivated? Well, truly, I can only speak for myself. And I say as an INFP to relate to other INFPs. Hopefully they can understand what motivates me. But I want to break out of that idea. I guess this is breaking out for some reason. I'm an INFP, but my ESTJ friend, or my whatever, someone who's completely different than the INFP, my ESTP friend, or ESTJ, give me an SJ. Give me an SJ, okay. My ESTJ friend, he also has the same biological bases for his central motivations in life, to be connected to other people. You know, a desire for food, a desire for sex, a desire for intimacy. You know, his personality traits are higher mental functions, right? But they are intrinsically social functions. So, what motivates the ESTJ, on the one hand, centrally ought to motivate the INFP on the other. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a human nature, and regardless of the subjective element of perception, there are underlying central motives, namely health of relationship, health of mind, health of body. So how do we, I guess, will to become more motivated? How do we use our will to increase our will, or our willpower? Well, you just start. You just do it, right? But it's so hard for people to just do it. Why is it so hard for people to do it? Because, well, there are a limited amount of attentional resources available to each individual person. And we get stuck in these sort of routines or habits that use up these attentional resources, or the types of ways we think about the people around us use up our attentional resources. So you wake up in the beginning of the day, and you have, in a sense, this much ability to be motivated, to will. The problem is, more and more people are waking up without motivation. And I say, that's okay. Everyone has a morning like that. Everyone hits snooze 3 times. Everyone does these things. But what I'm saying is that if that's normal, if it's regular for you to wake up, to drag yourself out of bed, you're not doing it right. And honestly, I would argue that you're being selfish, because you have so much value to give to the world. You have so much value to give to your relationships. You have so much love to experience, so much meaning to create, so much potential for growth, for feeling good, really. So I say ground yourself. How does one ground themselves? Well, I say try and think about what matters most to you. And if that doesn't work, if you can't identify what's most important to you and that be your motivator, I say ground yourself in your body. Ground yourself in, first and foremost, your diet. Okay? Eating healthy. Real foods, nothing processed. Then ground yourself in a routine of sleep, making sure you get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Because that should be enough. And if that's not enough, that means something. That means something else is out of whack. And then, having clear goals is really something important, I think. This sense of waking up with a goal in mind. But I can't stress more just how happiness can be automatic, just like sadness can be automatic, just like rumination can be automatic. It's a matter of producing these types of habits, and then before you know it, you're going to start motivating other people. You're going to start gathering more and more knowledge. I mean, it's going to be running on auto because it feels so good. It's going to feel so good to connect with people, etc. So I say ground yourself in your body. Be aware of what you're eating. Always, always err on the side of precaution and temperance with everything. Eat, whether you're eating. The time you spend with certain people. Are you spending too much time with, maybe people who are going to influence your emotions negatively? Think about that. And maybe you don't need to understand that. Maybe you just need to take that time for yourself. Maybe you just need to do it and experiment with it. Go for it. But yeah, very, very disorganized here. But this is really genuinely my belief. Ground yourself in, here's the word, simplicity. And what you'll find is that simplicity requires self-control. Self-control is the seed of willpower. Willpower. True men, true women have willpower. They choose to love. They choose to love. Not when it's, easy, but even when it's hard. They deal with discomfort because they believe that is temporary, and they know it's temporary because it's produced through habit. So yeah, ground yourself in your body. Great way to do this outside of routine and simplifying your diet and your life is to return to the breath. Now, perhaps you've heard of mindfulness-based stress reduction. It's this beautiful form of therapy that has been empirically proven to reduce, psychological illness. If you wake up and you practice, remember I talked about habit? You practice your attention. You practice attending to your breath, a stimuli in the environment, and only that stimuli, you're going to build this muscle of willpower. And you're going to have more to work with. So yeah, there is my rant or discussion, vomit thing. There's just so much potential. Exercise. Feel motivated. And you know what? Feel sad sometimes. You know when you're selfish. You know when you're cut off. All I'm asking is that you do something about it. Because while everyone is doing something, people aren't always believing and being. Their attitudes can be poor. I see so many people with poor attitudes. Put on a smile, but be genuine and work hard, because this life is really short. Really short. You can, think of how unknown the future is. You can't even conceive of the future. The way that we have developed biologically is to only predict so much. When we try to remember things, use our memory, the same neural mechanisms that activate when we go to predict the future are activated. You see? It is all connected neurologically. And it's really fascinating. This process of consolidation of experience with memory, of emotional stability, sleep. It's all connected in this beautiful way. Yeah. Ciao.